Wow, look at that. I can almost predict it now. So uh, I think we should be golden. Yep, we're coming in on YouTube. Welcome everybody to another regular meeting of the Jesus. I am still stuck on the Pennsylvania Pirate Party. It's because we haven't done one in a while. The United States Pirate Party. My apologies once again. I'm a little scatterbrained, and so apologize for that. My name is Drew Bingaman. I am your captain for this evening, and we'll go around the room here and introduce ourselves. Darren, you're the first one I see.
Okay, hi, I'm Darren. I am treasurer for the United States Captain, United States Pirate Party, and also quartermaster for the California Pirate Party.
Awesome. Next, I see Wanda.
Wanda, representative from Florida.
Awesome. Johnny.
Hello, John Robinson, secretary for the Pennsylvania Pirate Party.
David.
And I'm another representative from Florida.
Awesome. Chester.
Hello all, I'm Ashley Melody. I'm a representative from Indiana.
Thank you. And finally, Eli.
I'm Eli McGee. I'm the Massachusetts representative.
Awesome. Well, it looks good. Like if we need to vote on anything, we should be good. So welcome everybody. Does anybody have any announcements, reports, anything? Anything not election related? Well, I'm going to open up the floor for election related discussions after we see if anybody has anything to report. Johnny, go ahead.
Just announcing my intention, more of an accountability thing, to start a regular discussion group in my town for radical politics, left libertarianism, socialism, that strain sort of thing. Just trying to get the people who are equally disgusted with the Democrats and Republicans right now.
That sounds awesome. Let me know when you get that going. I would like to see how that works out for you. Mitch has joined us. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Jolly Mitch Zavillo of the Chicagoland 9, the Illinois Pirate Party. And as always, friend of the show.
Thank you, Mitch. Okay. Any other reports, announcements, etc., that are not election related? Darren, go ahead.
Okay, so I have started to do the same thing that the previous speaker said. We are doing monthly meet and greets now here in San Francisco. There's a lot of people here that are pretty dissatisfied with everything too, and I've been kind of extremely surprised at the response I've gotten when I've talked about the Pirate Party to people here. So I decided to let's have a big meet and greet at the Tiki Bar at the end of Pier 39. So it's actually one of the more secret locations I have. It's like I jokingly refer to it as my office because it's got a great view of Alcatraz and all this other stuff. But nobody in town knows it's there because nobody who lives in San Francisco ever goes to Pier 39. It's all for tourists. But this is a little secret. So I'm hoping that I'll expose some locals to this little secret and get them to come to the Pirate Party too. But we will see. And that's I have one other thing, but I actually put it on the agenda for later on today.
Okay.
If whenever you want to get to it.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else anybody wants to update us about, or not seeing any hands? So, okay, now I'm going to open up the floor to anybody that would like to discuss anything that went on with the election and how you feel about it, what you see, anything you see coming, anything like that. Legislation we need to watch out for. I think I've seen a couple things so far. Like I think now I can't even remember what it's called, but the basically enemies list take away their nonprofit status.
Yeah.
That bill is coming very soon in like an emergency. It's not an emergency, but it's in a very rapid manner that they're bringing it to the floor. So we certainly don't want to see that pass, because that just gives more power to shutting to the fascists in Washington. So
And an interesting bit about that bill actually is that there doesn't have to be any proof or evidence presented. You
yeah,
just have to be informed that you are a terrorist organization or provide material support to one, and that's all they need to do.
yeah, it's just branding you as enemy of the state, essentially, more or less, and taking away your. So yeah, looks like that's problematic for free speech, because anybody that is dissenting and has a formalized nonprofit based on those dissenting voices is could potentially get a whole bunch of legal issues,
That includes the Pirate Party.
and that includes us. Yeah. So anything else anybody would like to discuss that see coming? We're quiet tonight. Are we all in that much mourning? I mean, I know it's bad, and I know it's scary.
Okay, so do you want my take on it?
Sure, go ahead.
I am a rational anarchist. Basically, I have been resigned to the fact that we are living in a dictatorship ever since 2001. So what I am seeing around me is all the Democrats catching up to me, realizing, oh shit, we live in a dictatorship now. And pretty soon all the Republicans will catch up to it.
The ones that aren't in. The ones that aren't in.
The ones that are. Oh, the cultists. Those are the. I mean, we're at Berlin, 1933, right now, and we're playing a game called, guess who's going to be the Nazi. You have to go. You have to do that with every single person you know. Is this person going to be complicit, or is this person not going to be complicit? And that's where we are right now. So, I mean, I've been in this mode since 2001. So nothing has changed for me, and that includes all of my plans for like the next 6 months to a year to 5 years. So I'm just gonna keep on. If they're just gonna have to kill me to stop me. That's my attitude towards everything.
That is one way to think about it.
If I may.
I'm an extremist, so.
Yeah, we all are extreme in something, I think. So I don't think there are any actual true moderates, but
I do think congratulations to us are in order, because I don't know why I'm echoing like that.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, it's just I thought about the idea of a united left front after the election. And so I looked at the other leftist political parties out there. We are minuscule. We had Vermin Supreme as our candidate. We are still light years ahead of virtually everybody in terms of credibility, of not being headed by obvious grifters and lunatics. It is terrifying how good the Pirate Party actually is right now,
because we actually have integrity, and we have a code. We have our core values. That is our identity. So if anybody wants to check those out, go to our website at uspirates.org, and you can check out all of the stuff about us. I see Jester and then Mitch.
So y'all can hear me, yeah?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect. So I'm going to be honest. I've been kind of going off the, not off the deep end per se, but I've been rather quiet in the Discord for the most part and with the party in general. Partially because I didn't want to be pessimistic with everyone, because I was pretty sure about, I want to say January of last year, that this was going to be a lose. No matter what happened, no matter what the Democrats did, I was positive that they were going to lose this election. partially out of the fact that they were still going to attempt to run Biden, and also partially because I'm just used to it by now. I expect losses for anything halfway decent. I don't know if a post election united front is ever going to be possible, at least with the majority of the liberals and moderates in the electoral polity, considering the entire news media is doing an entire smear campaign against everyone who isn't a moderate liberal centrist Democrat, and they're basically blaming the left, racial minorities, the gays, pretty much everyone who isn't the white moderate elitist upper class group that voted for them. So I don't know how much that's work. I could see maybe working with the voting bloc, i.e., the people who actually vote for them, but I doubt that any party representatives or leadership are going to want to do that, considering they probably see all of us as either people who didn't vote for them come election day, or something worse. Though I do feel we should try and reach out to the other smaller parties and see what we can work on here. If there's anything that we can take advantage of, if there's anything we can take advantage of, is the fact that we have 2 months, 2-ish months, to rally some sort of group together to weather this storm of the next 4 years, and possibly longer if it needs to come to that.
All right. Thank you, Jester. Mitch, go ahead.
So first of all, if it has not been said, congratulations are in order to one Joseph Honorowski of the 17th Middlesex District
Absolutely.
for pulling in roughly 22 to 23% of the vote, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Joe deserves the credit for that. For a first time showing and against an incumbent Democrat, that's a pretty good showing.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, I wanted to touch on your point really quick. I think we should be looking at a coalition in the near future with some of these smaller political parties, especially I've put forward that we should be working with the transhumanist parties, seeing as they're not very big, but there's a lot of crossover with what we believe. We may not believe in the life extension that they believe in, but I think a lot of the transhumanists tend to align with Pirate Party ideals. And I think that just going towards certain minor parties that may only be running 1 or 2 candidates nationwide, if we can get together and say, hey, you know what, let's promote each other's candidates. If I believe it's in multiple countries, but the one I'm thinking of in particular would be Uruguay, where they have a left-wing coalition of minor parties called the Broad Front. And I think a U.S. Broad Front can work out. We're not going to have, a nationwide third-party Broad Front competing in the 2028 election, but if by 2036, if we have, multiple candidates from multiple parties nationwide promoting each other, we can really make something happen. And I think, a lot of this happens on the ground. A lot of it's local work. And when we do it by ourselves, we can only get so far. If we have a bunch of parties that we align closely enough with, and we're willing to say, let's promote each other's candidates, let's make sure we get on the ballot and win, and, get some policies in place that helps everybody, I think that that's a net win for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Mitch. Johnny.
I agree broadly, but 2 specific examples come to mind. The Green Party. Green Party right now is basically the Jill Stein show, which is an active obstacle to anything good happening. And the other one that comes up repeatedly is the PSL, who are also an active obstacle to anything good happening. So we should align with people who are close to us, but we have to make sure that we're not aligning with people who are only in this to make money by selling their bad magazines or by getting donations every 4 years to run for president. We have to be rather selective.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right on that. I could definitely agree with that. Jester, go ahead.
I can agree to some extent with the that opinion regarding both the PSL and the Green Party. However, given the current political situation, regardless of our own values, we're not in a position to be really bargaining over who do we pick or not. Need I remind you, we are one of the smallest political parties in the United States. And just rejecting any of the three of the, third parties that have a solid chance at getting senators, even like the PSL, the Green Party, or the Libertarians, is kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. And now that's not to say we should ever work with the Libertarians, considering they're now compromised by the Mises Caucus. However, I'm not convinced that not working with either the Greens or the PSL is not going to be something we need to look at in the future here. If not because we like them, but more so because we need that organizing power if worst comes to worst, and we need to start thinking about how do we operate in the dark, as it.
Right. If this legislation goes through and we all become enemies of the state. Mitch, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that, well, first of all, you guys know what they call a doctor who finishes last in his class, right?
A doctor.
A doctor. And even though we're a small political party, we're still a political party out there fielding candidates, even if it's one candidate and one presidential candidate, which, I'm very proud of the 2024 elections from the perspective of the Pirates, because even though it wasn't a large showing, and even though the Delaware turnout may not have been great for Vermin, I think ultimately we told everyone, hey, by the way, you need to start taking us seriously. Here's the candidates we're endorsing. Here's the candidates we're running. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to grow in our states. Which, by the way, anyone who's watching, Illinois, Indiana, California, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Texas. And that is currently it. Massachusetts. How could I forget Massachusetts? My God, how could I forget Massachusetts?
You're just talking about Joe, so yeah,
I
how
know,
can you forget?
It makes it even worse. And also, we are on the precipice of getting New Jersey, West Virginia, and Rhode Island getting ready. So if you're from any of these states, or if you're just from any state in general, and you want a pirate party, come get involved. Come reach out to us, uspirates.org. But I do think the coalition, we have to, we're never going to get anywhere unless we talk to people. We should definitely use the next few weeks, during our meetings, say, hey, is there any party you'd like us to coalesce with and interact with? And if we say, yeah, let's try to get a meeting with PSL in a few weeks, then that'd be fine. We're never going to get anywhere unless a dialogue gets created first. So if we can, at the very least, see if working together is something both parties want to do, well, that's the right direction.
I think there's a lot of merit in a lot of what we're talking about. So anybody that wants to start reaching out to other parties to talk to them to see if they would be interested in, even just talking about some collaboration moving forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be full on collaboration. It's not necessarily, everybody can keep their own pieces of things. It's not trying to merge all of us together into one giant party, where everything will just get taken over by somebody who has influence, and that's not a good thing either. But yeah, I mean, I think the coalition idea is a good one, and I think it has some merit. There are a whole bunch of other upstarts coming to mind. I think the Liberal Party is having their inaugural national get together in Texas somewhere. I think, is it Texas? I could be wrong. I see the advertisements. I mean, I don't know what anybody thinks about the Forward Party, but they did have some candidates out there this time around. I know we have disagreements with everybody. We're gonna have disagreements with everybody. And I agree with Johnny that I think that it is sad that the Green Party has just become the let's try to elect Jill Stein every 4 years, which kind of sucks because I do know some people in the Green Party and they are good people in that party. So
they're not to try to get Jill Stein elected every 4 years. They're to get Jill Stein donations every 4 years.
Right. Yeah. I mean, So yeah. Anyways, yeah. I've got the floor is open if anybody has anything else they want to, or I didn't ask, but if we have any business that needs to be attended to.
I just wanted to say that we should really give a round of applause to Vermin for pulling 900 votes in Delaware. That's 900 more than the Pirate Party got in a presidential election last time around.
Yeah, I want to say that I can't be thankful enough to Vermin and Jonathan Reels for really committing to the campaign and committing to the Pirates, and really helping us raise our profile. I mean, I think it was worthwhile. I mean, obviously we knew we weren't really going to compete in this presidential election. So I think it was a good thing. Anybody else got something? Not seeing any hands.
I would only recommend here that if we're going to do something with outreach, we need to do it like now. Like the time to do it is now. We've only got 2 months before Trump is inaugurated and his party comes into full power. So we have about 2 months before the agencies start looking possibly at everyone who isn't a Republican.
They've got profiles on a lot of us anyway.
Well, I know they got profiles, but the meaning is now is the time to set up our back channels so that when worse comes to worse, they aren't, the Republicans aren't seeing us doing it right then and there. Let's be at least 2 months ahead of them.
Not only that, but people are the most interested right now in alternatives.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100% with that. Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of people that are looking for alternatives. Mitch, go ahead.
It should be noted that the 2016 election, we saw a massive showing for third parties, and that is because we had an incumbent who could not run again, and thus it was a new possibility for a clean slate, and that's exactly what we're going to have in 2028. So even though we may not be putting forward, well, yeah, it should things not change drastically in the next couple of years.
I mean, heck, Democrats probably wish they could run Obama again, and Republicans aren't going to know what to do without Trump.
Well, yeah. How many? Okay, just how long does everybody think Trump is going to be alive?
Oh, I don't know.
I doubt he makes it through the term, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah, I doubt it makes it 2 years.
I'm not even sure. I think they're probably going to 25th Amendment him as soon as he gets in there. So I am not really.
I didn't think Biden would make it this long, to be fair.
Yeah, well, all you got to do is just Google Peter Thiel's boyfriend. So.
Yeah.
I will have to do that because I know Peter Thiel, but I don't know what
I'm doing
the deal
that
is
right
with
now.
with this boyfriend. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm doing that right now. Like, what the heck? Because I just watched a three-part Behind the Bastards on Peter Thiel.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Behind the Bastards, my favorite.
Yeah, shout out to those guys, to Robert especially. Man, they're doing work. They're doing work out there, and I love them, and they're hilarious, and they're. Yeah. Anyway,
I can hear Robert in the background going and it gets worse.
And it gets worse. Yeah.
Let's just hope that in 4 to 8 years, we're going to be listening to Behind the Bastards about the second Trump term, and we're going to be looking at it like it was just a bad memory.
Jolly. Mitch, go ahead.
I just want to say, no matter what happens, this country has torn itself apart and built itself up back together again before. No North, no South, the Union forever. If purchasing is not ownership, piracy is not theft. Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
all right. Do we have a second?
back
I
up.
actually wanted to
Oh yeah, go ahead,
bring my
Jared. So
business.
go ahead.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll come back. We'll come back to the motion to adjourn. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I've been working all week because I am now the treasurer. I have not gotten any access to the bank accounts or anything, but that hasn't had stopped me from thinking about how we can do some fundraising for the national party, and I wanted to present to you folks a proposal for that. Because right now I believe that we are excuse the hyperbole here, but I believe that we're in an unprecedented time in history in both the United States and European history. And I believe this represents an opportunity for us to become a leading third or even the top party of the United States and the leading pirate party in the world if we manage to create that grassroots momentum. My position as treasurer is maybe consider some novel fundraising ideas that combine getting the word out about pirates, partnering with orgs with similar goals as we were talking about before, and doing it without spending any money at the Fed level and very little at the state level. So to that end, I propose that we turn our annual political convention into a national fundraising event sponsored by the state party that hosts it that year. My past experience includes many different businesses, including event planning, and I propose that we use the 2025 convention as a test bed to draw up a manual for running a fundraising convention every year with a national and international draw. I've put up a proposal with several areas. This is not set in stone, but I would like to propose that this year we hold it in San Francisco. Starting off, I want to address a few points right here because I know that everybody is always concerned about cost. I was talked to by Joe earlier, and I sort of talked around about what we do with conventions when I was researching this stuff, and he said that you guys had it in a library last time, and
We
it
did,
was
yep.
and it was in Illinois.
Chicago. Yeah, outside of Chicago. Yep.
Outside of Chicago. Okay. Well, my contacts are all here in San Francisco, and I have found that the first one I want to address is lodging, making it very cheap for everybody because San Francisco is an expensive city. I have found a hostel here that's right next to Fort Mason, where we had the protests, one of the most picturesque places that I know of, where we can get lodging for $50 a night. For a venue, I have started talking to the Internet Archive about using their venue, which is an old church over in the Presidio. For speakers, I have gotten keynotes by video from people like Birgitta Johnsdottir, who is the Icelandic Pirate Party founder. So the last thing that I want to bring up with this is actually something that Rose brought up to me when I was talking about this with her. I have an idea to make this have as much impact as possible this year. I propose that we have the date as being on July 4th. And this means that we will have to change the bylaws to conduct all of our business by the second week in July rather than the second week in June. And that's really the biggest hurdle I see to all this stuff. California Pirate Party will take all the financial hits and we'll figure out how to get everything as cheaply as possible for everybody to get out here. At the same time, I think this is something that we can actually, past all of us attending, we could sell tickets to, with half the proceeds going to the Internet Archive and half going to the California Pirate Party, with a percentage going to the national org. So that's really it. I think in future this will be a blueprint for future conventions in other cities that we should target. So I think that I mean, I'm a little biased about San Francisco because all the billionaires just use San Francisco as a test bed for their little thing. And I kind of want to do that here with the Pirates too. I've got some stuff that I actually haven't talked about with politicians here, converting them from being Democrats to being Pirates and running them on the national stage. You guys if you were paying attention in the Signal chat, I made a comment about running for Pelosi's seat. Well, there's somebody here in San Francisco that just was the most progressive grassroots mayor campaign in the election, and he is disgusted with the Democrats. And I'm about to propose to him that he run for Pelosi's seat because everybody in San Francisco knows his name, and that's the name of the game with this stuff.
Absolutely.
So I think that if we can arrange this, we could actually have an event that exposes a lot of people to the Pirates, along with the podcast that we just started this past week. I've been getting independent journalists that actually want to speak at this convention too, as well as on the podcast. So I think that there's a big potential here for us to get the word out about the Pirate Party and do a lot of fundraising too. If we start it here in San Francisco, where all these rich assholes live. So that's my proposal. I open it up to the floor to discussion.
What would you? I don't think is there any objection to Darren continuing to work on this and that we then work on seeing about the nailing the date down and getting that to work with our bylaws? I don't know if we're should we I'm just trying to think about the best way to handle that. I think we can amend our bylaws. I just need to check the procedure for that unless somebody knows it off the top of their head.
Hold on, let me pull up the bylaws real quick.
What I was kind of thinking is that we give Darren the approval to continue working on this project, and that then we follow up with our end on our next stream meeting, ready to amend the bylaws or ready to at least propose the amendment to the bylaws in 2 weeks, if that would be cool with everybody. I think that
there's no reason to rush any of this stuff. I want to do it as clear and open, as transparent as possible.
I certainly don't have any objections to what you're talking about there, Darren. I don't know that anybody necessarily does, but yeah.
It says here these bylaws can be amended by a 2/3 majority vote of the PNC. Initial ratification requires the same 2/3 majority vote of the temporary PNC. Following ratification by the PNC, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so we would need a 2/3 vote.
Okay. I would like to make sure that we do that and announce that to make sure that we have everybody that wants to weigh in on that. That maybe we get that out on the Discord and the Signal chat, especially those two places. If we can put Darren, if you could put an announcement out there, like what you would, you're kind of planning to do. Yeah. That way, maybe we can discuss it around and maybe not necessarily have our maybe make our time frame for the proposal for the for the bylaws change. Make the bylaws change more of we have like the last date, like a drop dead date that it has to be before, or maybe expand it instead of just saying, well, we want to do it on the 4th of July, because when you're planning a convention like this that is meant to be more national and have more people involved, flexibility, especially when it comes to like booking venues and things, is a good thing. So
yeah. Exactly. I'm thinking, that's why I was saying the second week of July rather than saying on July 4th.
Sure.
So
yeah, I think the proposal was just simply change the word June in the bylaws to July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, I think that the July 4th this year is mostly a symbolic thing, trying to reclaim that date, because honestly, this is the dawning of the pirate party here. I feel like in the United States, we've been kind of farting around for about the last decade, and it's time to get serious about this shit. So that's my attitude. I'm sort of like gloves are all off right now with all of my attitude.
So, I'm not hearing any objections to us putting that on the agenda in 2 weeks. If that works, does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, then that's what we'll do. We will make that our point of emphasis in our meeting in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, the meetings and the interactions that we have can go to kind of refining that or kicking the ideas around and getting that straightened out so that we have a solid proposal in 2 weeks.
And I want to also put it out there. Anybody that wants to help out, just like get in touch with me, because like I will need all the help I can get. I've got a crew here in San Francisco that wants to help out, and I'm probably meeting them on the 17th at the meet and greet.
Would you like to give out an email address that somebody can send interest to, Darren?
info at capirates.org.
All right, awesome. There you go. And everybody get out there and check out uspirates.org. Get on our Discord. If you go to uspirates.org/join, there are links to all of our stuff. So you can get there. You can get the Discord from there. You can get you can see our bylaws and everything that we already have done. But if you want to get involved, that's the best way to get involved and get started. And if you want to put your 2 cents in, just join us in the Discord mainly, and then from there we can escalate you and get you going. Mitch, go ahead.
This is just a message from the Tejas Piratas, the Texas Pirate Party. Just to note that they're going to be having a meeting tomorrow at 8 Central in the Discord in the general. So if anyone is interested from Texas that wants to get involved or had any questions or just wanted to see what they're about, come to the Texas Pirate Party Discord 8 o'clock Central time tomorrow, and you can come see what it's about.
All right, that sounds great. I think we are back to now, since we've got Darren. I think is there anything else that you needed from us today, Darren, that you wanted to talk about?
No, other than everybody should listen to the podcast every Friday. This next, I'm still working on the guests for this one, but I'm talking to Gil Duran, who is an investigative journalist. It's turning out to be a lot of investigative journalists that come on the podcast.
And I would want to. So I hate to. Sorry for interrupting. If anybody would like to, any of us state reps or board members would like to be a co-host for a night with Darren, because that way then I don't always have to be the co-host. Yeah. I would gladly, just message Darren and let me know. That way I don't, if I don't need to fill in, I'm cool with that. But I will be there if you need me, Darren. I will come on.
It was kind of fun, actually. I was very surprised at how fun it was, actually. But then again, I also know Julie, and she and I talk about this stuff all the time. Right. And I'm sorry that you were kind of left in the dust about our local San Francisco knowledge, but it was
totally
really
okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
It really shows how they are using San Francisco as a test bed, because they want control of San Francisco more than anything. And they don't have it, and they still don't have it, because most of the people here are wise to their tricks. So I think that San Francisco is a good, test bed for what we want to do too.
And so tell us also where everybody can see the podcast. Where you're
you can see it on the YouTube channel, or you can see it on Facebook. We have it on the Facebook as a Facebook Live as well. I also have a page set up on the capirates.org where you can actually watch it as it's being broadcast every Friday night. But right now, I'm still learning how to do podcasts, so this is all brand new stuff to me. excuse me if it looks like crap.
I think honestly, I think it's more about actually getting people that know their shit, like you
Yeah.
did, and actually talking about real issues more than necessarily being polished, because we can
Oh
cut
yeah.
little live videos out of that. So
And yes, also I wanted to also say I do have a guest for the 6th of December, and that is Taylor Lawrence. She's the tech reporter. She used to be with the Washington Post, but now she works for herself. She's an independent journalist now. She has a publication called User Mag, and she's got she did that whole article that I posted to the channel about how the left will never have a Joe Rogan. And she's very on the ball. Most of the right wing folks really hate her, and actually, I hate to say this, but I was telling her that I would really like her to speak at the convention as a troll, because Elon Musk has started a conspiracy theory about how she is somehow related to the fortune that controls the Internet Archive, which is just like the Internet Archive has no money, dude. There is no fortune. You're imagining stuff. So she was like, "Don't involve me in any conspiracy theories." I'm like, "Okay, I won't," but it's still kind of funny. It's still kind of funny if we wanted to troll him and have you speak at the convention. But yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
all right, well, that's awesome.
podcast.
All right. Well, I appreciate all the work you're doing there, Darren. I appreciate the work everybody does here. Look, really, we are a team, and we work as a team, and we've been working really well as a team. And now let's just keep it going and do better. And we will keep reaching out to people. And yeah, Mitch, do you want to bring that tagline in again, please, sir?
I sure can. I just wanted to let everybody know, whether you're watching from the coast of California to the shining seas of New York, I just want to let you guys know that if purchasing is not ownership, piracy isn't theft.
Thank you, Mitch. And get out there and vote Pirate. It's going to be a little bit until we have another election, but there will be a primary many places in the spring. So think about elections that are coming up in your local area, and if you're interested, also get in contact with us. Like I said earlier, uspirates.org/join. That'll get you connected to pretty much everything, and you can go from there. Do I have any objections? Any other things we need to talk about? I think we got it covered now. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday for our podcast. And
Thank you.
All right, and have a good night.
You too.